It was about a year ago when I visited a close friend of mine who had recently moved to a remote mountain town for work. I'll call him Dean. He was always into off-the-grid places, so I wasn't surprised when he invited me out there for a long weekend, saying I had to see something. The town was tiny, just a few hundred people. Everyone seemed to know each other, and I noticed quickly that people didn't like to be out after dark. When I asked Dean about it, he just shrugged and told me, "You'll see." On the second night, after dinner, he said he wanted to take me somewhere he hadn't had the nerve to go alone. A trail behind the old mill, overgrown and barely visible, led to what locals called the Broken Pines. Supposedly, it used to be a neighborhood, but something happened decades ago and it was abandoned. Nobody wanted to talk about it. That only made us more curious. We packed a flashlight and some water, then headed out just before sunset. The trail was hard to follow, but Dean seemed to know where he was going. It took about an hour before we saw it. A group of crumbling homes, surrounded by trees that looked half-burned and twisted in ways that didn't look natural. The houses weren't ancient, maybe 70s or 80s, but something about them felt wrong. There was no graffiti, no signs of other visitors, no animals, no birds, just silence. It was like even nature avoided the place. We approached the largest house, which was partially sunken on one side, like the ground had given up on holding it. The front door was already hanging open, so we stepped inside. The air was thick, heavy, and smelled faintly like wet wood and metal. The living room was stripped bare, except for a couch with the stuffing ripped out and a single framed photo lying face down on the floor. We picked it up. It showed a family of 4. The parents looked like mannequins, stiff and smiling too wide, while the kids stared dead-eyed into the lens. Dean and I looked at each other, but didn't say anything. We moved through the house slowly. It was colder than it should have been. Upstairs, we found a hallway with 4 doors. One of them was locked from the outside. That's when Dean started to get nervous. "Let's just check one more," he said, heading to the room across from it. Inside, there was nothing but a broken rocking chair facing the wall. I was about to turn around when the chair creaked and slowly began to rock. Neither of us had touched it. I didn't even breathe. Dean whispered, "Did you feel that?" Before I could answer, we both heard it. Footsteps downstairs, slow, deliberate, like someone dragging their feet. We froze. The flashlight flickered once and died. Dean grabbed my arm, and we backed into the farthest corner of the room. The footsteps reached the stairs, but didn't come up. Instead, we heard a voice, raspy, whispering through the cracks of the old wood. "Did you bring me back?" We couldn't see anything, but we felt it. Something was in the house with us. Then, silence. Dean made a break for the hallway, and I followed. As we passed the locked room, we heard a soft knock from inside it. Not banging, just a single polite knock. Outside, the air felt heavier, like we had surfaced from deep water. We didn't stop running until we got back to town. Dean moved out 2 weeks later. He never said why, but I think we both knew. Something had been waiting in those houses, and it hadn't forgotten us.